Hi everybody, myself Dr. K.S. Raghuram, working as Associate Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Vijnan's Institute of Information Technology, Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh, India. I am handling the subject of Automobile Engineering for BTech Mechanical Engineering course program of 4th year. My present topic is engine construction. This is the fourth topic of Unit 1. My topic of discussion will be like this. It is having the topics of engine construction, various parts of the engine, materials of preparation of the engine parts, and constructional features of engine parts. These four are the topics of the discussion for today's class. After attending this class, the student get the knowledge of what are the parts of the engine, how they are manufactured, what is the manufacturing process, what are the materials used for the manufacturing process, what are the construction features, like that. That is the outcome of this program. So objectives are identify the stationary and moving parts of the engine, identify the basic testing procedures, recognize the operating principles, and recognizing the basic engine testing procedure. This is the schematic of the engine. Here you see the engine's input and output in the red color, and in the blue color the engine's input as the input air from atmospheric air. This is the actual diagram of Bugatti engine, and its line sketch is shown like this. It is the construction of the engine where to show the parts inside the engine. What are the parts inside the engine? We can see is the crankcase, crankshaft, and here the piston pins, connecting rod, inlet port, outlet port, etc. All are shown here as the parts of the engine. Now, the construction of the engine is like this. It is regardless of the size and design. It is to simplify the service parts, the servicing procedures in the field. The current trend in the engine construction and design is towards the engine familiarities. So the main part of the engine is engine's cylinder block. Cylinder block is the basic frame of the liquid cooled engine, whether it is inline engine, horizontal opposite type engine, or V type engine. Whatever it may be, the engine block is the basic frame of the liquid cooled engine. The cylinder block is a solid casting made of cast iron. The cylinder block is made of cast iron by the process of casting. See here, the material is cast iron, whereas the process of manufacturing is casting. Aluminum is used whether the weight is the consideration. That is, in aviation engines, the engine cylinder block is made of aluminum because as the weight of the engine should be less, the vehicle can fly to more heights easily. That's why aviation engines are made of aluminum. Now let us consider the basic parts of the engine. What are the parts of the engine? This is also called as nomenclature of the engine. You will be asked about explain about the nomenclature of the engine. So the various parts of the engine are engine block, piston rings, connecting rod, intake valve, camshaft, piston, piston pin, cylinder head, exhaust valve, and finally spark plug or injector. These are the basic parts of any engine, right? And to some modern engines, one or two parts may vary. So these are the basic parts of the engine. Now let us discuss about the crankshaft of the engine. Crankshaft is the bottommost part of the engine, right? It is the crankshaft for a heavy duty engine of a truck. So it consists of two halves, right? So it is called as two-piece crankcase. The crankcase bearing is having two webs. So in the webs, there are fixed with two bearing halves. In the bearing halves, the connecting rods are fixed so that the engine can work. So this crankcase holds the bearing oil or lubricant oil to cool the engine. That we are going to discuss in the next lesson. So now let us come to the cylinder head. Earlier we had discussed about the cylinder. Now I am going to discuss about the cylinder head. The cylinder head is fixed to the top of the cylinder as we are wearing the cap to our head. So cylinder also should be closed with the cylinder head with the help of nuts and bolts. So the cylinder head's main function is to protect or to resist or to conceal the heat developed inside the engine combustion chambers. So inside the engine there develops a high amount of heat. That high amount of heat is to be kept inside without going out by this cylinder head. So it acts as a conceal or stop of the burnt gases inside the combustion chamber. Also, the cylinder head holds the intake port, exhaust port, and the spacing for the spark plugs or fuel injectors. Right? Spark plugs are used in case of petrol engine and fuel injectors are used in case of diesel engines. So the cylinder head holds three holes for each cylinder. Here you are seeing a four cylinder. That's why we are having seen about 8 ports and 8 bolts, right? So 8 ports are used to uh, facilitate the inlet port and exhaust port for the four cylinders, right? And this cylinder head is firmly and tightly fixed to the cylinder top with the help of the nuts and bolts as shown in the figure. So it is a heavy block. The cylinder head is made of cast iron by the process of casting. Cylinder is also made of cast iron by the process of casting. But in aviation industries, cylinders are also made of aluminum and aluminum alloys, and also cylinder heads are also made of aluminum and aluminum alloys in case of aviation engines. Now, let us come to the exhaust folds. So, exhaust fold means, manifold means, the burnt gases inside the combustion chamber are to be sent out to the atmosphere through these manifolds. These are called exhaust manifolds, and exhaust manifolds are connected to the exhaust ports of the engine, right? And since the exhaust ports has to carry the burned out gases through them to the atmosphere, they are made of very high strength uh, forging process. So the forging tools or forging manufactured materials are very strong enough to resist to very high heats and temperatures. So the manifolds, exhaust manifolds are made of this forging process by the steel or cast iron in case of some engines. So in case of again lightweight vehicles, these are made of aluminum or stainless steel tubing is also adapted in some type of engines. So this is a piston and connecting rod assembly where we uh, uh, can show the piston, which is a reciprocating part of the engine. the piston reciprocates inside the cylinder with very high speeds. So above the piston, the volume is called the combustion chamber or the swept volume technically. So inside the swept volume, what is going on is the gases which are inserted into the cylinder are burnt. As a result, a high amount of heat is developed. So that high amount of heat pushes the piston downwards with very high impacting force downwards. So the piston should be such that it should resist the heat which is developed by these uh, burnt gases. So this force is called impact force. So the piston should be right enough to resist the impact force which is given by the burnt gases inside the combustion chamber of the engine. So as the engine combustion goes on increasing, so the speed of the piston also increases. So the piston's reciprocating motion is connected to the crankshaft with the connecting rod as shown in the figure. So the connecting rod has to resist the high impact forces which are given by the piston like this. So if you see here, the piston is connected to the bearings of the crankshaft through the connecting rod, right? And here the connecting rod is having two halves. One is a small and another one is called as big end. The big end is made of again two halves to facilitate the high large sized bearings which are which are mounted on the crankshaft. At the piston side, the connecting rod is put inside the piston. The piston is a hollow structure and the piston is made of aluminum or aluminum alloy. Since aluminum is having the property of resisting to very high temperatures, the piston is made of aluminum alloys. Also, the piston is said to be the heart of the engine. If the piston fails, the engine completely fails. That's why the piston is said to be the heart of the engine. And the piston should move or reciprocate inside the cylinder such that no gas should escape from the piston. That's why the piston is provided with rings. If you see the picture here, there are two compression rings mounted onto the piston, and below that there is another ring, oil ring. First of all, let me tell you about the compression rings. What are compression rings? As I told you, in the combustion chamber of the cylinder, a high amount of heat is developed, right? The high amount of gas energy or yes, gas energy is always trying to escape from the combustion chamber. So these compression rings protect or stop the leakage of this high heated fuel so that there is no wastage of the fuel. The entire combustion of the fuel is converted into a working fluid. That's why the compression rings protect the escape of the combustion combusted fuel into the atmosphere. That's why slip will be minimized by the use of these compression rings. Oil rings. Next one is below the compression rings are fixed the oil rings. Oil rings are having holes inside it. It's not clearly shown here. If the oil rings are seen, we can see the there are some gaps in the oil rings. When the piston comes down, when the piston comes down from the top dead center of the top dead center to bottom dead center, what happens is at the bottom dead center, this lubricating oil is pushed onto the piston. So this splashing of the lubrication oil is caught and is settled inside the slots in the oil ring. So as well as when the piston moves up, what happens is it is lubricated with the oil which is sprayed inside into the holes of the oil ring, so that the piston will be lubricated and moves reciprocates inside the cylinder smoothly without getting any wear and tear inside. Even though if the piston is used for longer time, there may be wear and tear inside, wear and tear of the piston. And what are the why I'm saying more about the piston is the heart of the engine. That's why I'm concentrating here, right? Why pistons fail? That is another thing we have to know. Why pistons fail? The main reason of failing of the pistons is due to the fact that due to abrupt throttling, some drivers what they will do is they give the throttle abruptly. Abruptly means all of a sudden. If the road is plain, right? Some drivers what they will do is they all of a sudden increases the throttle. So at such times, what happens is the piston will be hitting the sides of the walls of the cylinder. As a result, what happens is there will be some breakings of the piston crown. So this is a main failure which the drivers should not give abrupt throttling. Due to abrupt throttling, what happens is the piston surface gets damaged. Also, the engine should not be run for more time than the designed time. What happens if the piston runs for more time is, if the engine runs for more time, what happens? The piston gets more heat, so that due to the heavy heat, there may be a chance of getting the piston welded to the cylinder, right? As a result, what happens is there is a clogging between the cylinder and piston, so that the piston won't move further, and hence the engine may fail. That's why the care should be given such that the piston should be used for better convenient and within the designed hours of use. This is the components of the engine. If you see, this is the engine of a small car. So from the side, if you see, you are able to see the belt conveyor, right? From the other side, you can see uh, the valves and ports. And all the images, videos embedded in this presentation are collected from various internet sources for fair use of development of educational content, and it is not used for commercial purposes. Finally, the engine's construction, let me say about the synopsis or about the summary of the today's lesson. Engine, engine parts are cylinder. Cylinder is made of cast iron by the process of casting. Cylinder head. Cylinder head is made of cast iron by the process of casting. Both the cylinder and cylinder heads for aviation, that is flying vehicles, both the cylinder and cylinder head are made of aluminum and casting process only. And the piston in all the cases are made of aluminum or aluminum alloy and Y alloy. Why pistons are made of aluminum is, piston has to reciprocate inside the cylinder, right? That's why the cylinders, the pistons are made of aluminum alloy to have more efficiency to the engine. Then connecting rod. Connecting rods, they should be strong enough to take the high reciprocating power of the piston. So the connecting rods are made of forging process which give high strength to the piston. So the connecting rods are made of steel, forged steel by the process of forging. Forged steel is a material and process is forging. And the crankshaft. The crankshaft is made of forging process again, and at the end of the bearings, the crankshaft is grounded so that it has to house the bearings. After the crankshaft, camshafts are also provided to operate the valves. There are two valves for each cylinder. One is the inlet valve and the other one is exhaust valve, right? And the two valves are inserted through the two ports, inlet port and exhaust port. So through the two ports, two valves are inserted. And if it is a petrol engine, there is a spark plug fixed to the cylinder head. In case of diesel engine or CA engine, it is the cylinder head is having the spark injector. Spark injector is fixed in case of diesel engine, and spark plug is fixed in case of petrol engine. Spark plug for petrol engine and fuel injector for diesel engine. These two things you have to remember for our why, because in many interviews they will ask what is the uh, uh, burning thing in case of petrol engine, right? So in the petrol engine, spark plug gives a spark of about 25,000 volts DC, which is used to ignite the compressed air fuel mixer. Whereas in case of diesel engines, the charge inserted into the diesel engines is air. Air is compressed to about 20 times inside the combustion chamber in the diesel engines. And before the end of the compression, the fuel injector injects the fuel, diesel, into the compressed air. So as a result, the diesel automatically ignites, thereby generating a high amount of power. That is about the diesel engine. So these two things you have to remember to face the interviews. And then the cylinders are having fins provided all around to have good heat resisting capacity, right? So here, for heat conduction, fins are provided around the cylinder, and this is about the class 2, the class 4, the construction details of an engine. Thank you, one and all, for your patient listening.